Good day everyone, I'm Melanie J. Squadro. Welcome again to our topic, which is the Information Society. I will share you the background of our topic.
The Information Society. Humans are surrounded on all sides by technology claiming to supply information, such as television, smartphones, and internet devices, among others. More voices are trying to get our attention, but how can we be sure that they share knowledge and the truth? The Information Society, or the TIS, was founded in late 1970s. David L. Hozman, Stephen J. Lukasik, both at the Rand Corporation at the time, and Richard O. Mason, then at UCLA, formulated the need for a new journal that would deal with broad social issues soon to be created by the information age. One of the first people to develop the concept of information society was the economist Fritz Machlup. In 1933, Fritz Machlup began studying the effect of patents on research. His work culminated in the study, the production, and distribution of knowledge in the United States in 1962. Information society is a term for a society in which the creation, distribution, and the manipulation of information was become the most significant economic and cultural activity. Information society is a society characterized by rapid growth and use of information, widespread exploitation of varied information sources. A society where people know and appreciate what information they need, where to get it, how to get the information, and in the end, how to use it. Ideas such as the Information Society are important because they shape views about the way in which the world works and thereby influence the decisions of individuals, firms, and also the government. A word is a combination of sounds that represent something. It is this significance which makes words distinct from just any kind of vocal utterance. Words are made up of sounds, and yet they transmit something more significant. They transmit a message. The words are informed because they carry information. Words are informed with meaning given by the speaker and intended for the listener. Simply put, they communicate meaning. The concepts are part of our daily lives and how the past, science and technology improvise the newest and hottest technologies in our society or the technological world.
So the information society has very big impact this world because of the information becomes one of the basic values of modern society. Knowledge and information become the main factor of the economic well-being of the society, and consequently, a factor of the stability and sustainable development of society. It has impact to the people who receive, hear, or see that kind of information in the TV, use, or other gadget that they use. It helps us also to facilitate the provision of information to everyone through TV or other gadgets. So, dako jud kay impact ato ang technology karon no. Unlike sa una na ang ginagamit lang ng technology ron sa information of technology is printing press lang jud o sulat lang. So, kung na sila gustong iatag ng mga information sa mga tao, isulat lang nila. Unlike sa tuwa karon natay na tungod sa technology na na-develop karon is nanatay mga TV, nanatay mga cellphone, tungod ani nila is mas nadali na, mas napadali na jud ma-spread nila ang information na gusto nila ihatag sa mga tao. So, and because of information systems has raised new ethical questions for both individuals and society because they create opportunities for intense social change, and this threaten existing distribution of power, funds, rights, and obligations. So next, I'm going to discuss how the role of language was important in the information society. So the role of language, it is through language that we communicate with the world, define our identity, express our history and culture, learn, defend our human rights, and participate in all aspects of society, to name but a few. So the role of language is importante jud kay ni siya sa information of society. Kaya nga no, is naghatag man pud tag information sa mga tao. Pag maghatag tag information sa mga tao, is kailangan na kabalo jud ta kung unsa atong ilabay sa ilaha ng mga istorya, na di jud ta magpataka og istorya like natay ka istorya na foreigner. So kato na foreigner, di jud ta di jud ta istorya siya na magtagalog ta kay wa ta kabalo na kato na foreigner is dili di siya kabalo mo sabot og Tagalog. So kailangan jud nato na mag-English. Dili po ta magpataka og buka sa atong mga baba na wa ta kabalo na kato day mga pang istorya nato is makabastos sa iya ha. So dapat makabalo jud ta unsa ang the role of language para magka-communicate ta. So from the word human gaze, so ibig sabihin daw nito is kapag makakita tayo ng isang tao na nag-identify siya ng isang object, tapos narinig natin ito at nalaman natin kung ano ang pangalan nito. For example is nag-identify siya ng isang rosas. So pagdating ng isang araw or makikita tayo ng isang rosas is madali na lang natin maklasify kung anong object na yun, kung ano ang pangalan ng bagay na yun sa ating kapaligiran. So kani daw siya is dali daw ni siya dako daw ni makatabang sa to recognize the usefulness of language. Sa tungod ani is makatabang pud sa to develop our language, that to give senses of nature. For the ancient Greeks, it tells us that the language was an object worthy of admiration. Words have power. This kind of knowing sprang from the Greek fascination and wonder at the power of words and language. Yes, words is a power. So because of the word, we create a sentence that we communicate through it. So tungod sa mga words is naka-create tag mga sentence, tungod ana is naka-communicate ta mo na itong ginagamit para maka-istorya na ita, para makahatag tag mga information na ato ang ibahin sa usag-usa. So mo na siya. The idea of comprehending word as more than just combination of sounds lead and Greeks to seek out the principle of everyday language. Plato principle of one and the many refers to underlying unity among diverse being in the natural world. So for Plato daw, there is common intrinsic nature shared by different objects which determines the real sense. In the 21st century, we are aware more than ever that there is rich diversity in nature which technology has allowed us to discover. Banwa Natural Science in 2008.
I urge Ms. Rimas, and I will discuss about the mathematics as the language of nature.
Mathematics as the language of nature. The term mathematics is derived from two Greek words, mantinein, which means learning, and techne, an art of technique. Therefore, mathematics means the art of learning and related to discipline. Mathematics is defined as the science of quantity, measurement, and spatial relation. Technology in the modern world is the fruit of science because the scientific method helped people discover how nature behaves. They were able to control nature with technology. This language is, of course, mathematics, the great contribution of Isaac Newton. Nature can understood because it speaks in the language of mathematics, and the human brain, to a certain extent, can comprehend this language by Wire 1960. History of mathematics. The area of study is known as the history of mathematics and primarily an investigation into the origin of discovery of mathematics and to a lesser extent an investigation into the mathematics method notation of the past.
I'm Rayami C. Ilisan and I will continue to discuss about the mathematics as the language of nature. Nature of mathematics. Nature of mathematics in the modern world, now much more than arithmetic and geometry. Mathematics today is a diverse discipline that deals with data, measurements, and observations from science, with inference, deduction, and proof, and with mathematical models of natural phenomena, of human behavior, and of social systems. Mathematics is a science of discovery. Mathematics give an easy and early opportunity to make independent discoveries. It is the discovery of relationships and the expression of those relationships in symbolic form. Mathematics has its own language and symbols. The language for communication of mathematical ideas is largely in terms of symbols and words, which everybody cannot understand. Maths and daily life. Math in our daily life. Math is incredibly important in our lives, and without realizing it, we use mathematical concepts, as well as the skills we learn from doing math problems every day. The laws of mathematics govern everything around us, and without a good understanding of them, one can encounter significant difficulties in life. Banking. Banking is probably the one place where math is used more than anywhere else. No one without basic knowledge about math can't do anything in a bank. Shopping. This is probably the most common use of math, in which we make a list of things we need to buy as well as make payments in the end. Mathematics is nature's language, and it has a significant impact on our daily lives. We can relate to details that we may not have noticed otherwise. It reveals the language of nature when it is already adapted to mathematics in our daily lives. We have always encountered mathematics. In cooking, we use mathematics to measure an ingredient in terms of tablespoons and teaspoons, as well as in the arts. When painting and performing dance, the size of the canvas and the size of the stage are used. And there are numerous other areas where mathematics plays an important role, and deciding on all aspects is nearly impossible without a solid understanding of mathematics.
Good day everyone, I am Permi P. Eliseo and I will be discussing the RA 10844 or the Department of Information and Communication Technology Act of 2015.
RA 144 is an act creating the Department of Information and Communication Technology, defining its powers and functions, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes. It was signed into law on May 23, 2016. Scope of RA 10844. Scope 1. To recognize the vital role of information and communication in nation building. Scope 2. To promote the development and widespread use of emerging ICT and foster and accelerate the convergence of ICT and ICT-enabled facilities. Scope 3. To ensure the availability and accessibility of ICT services in areas not adequately serviced by the private sector. Scope 4. To promote the use of ICT for the enhancement of key public services such as education, public health and safety, revenue generation, and the socio-civic purposes. Scope 5. To promote digital literacy, ICT expertise and knowledge building among citizens to enable them to participate and compete in an evolving ICT age.
Good morning everyone. I'm Ninya Hukoy from Group 2 and I will discuss about printing press and beyond.
What is printing press? So, printing press is a device that allows for the mass production of uniform printed matter, mainly text, in the form of books, pamphlets, and newspaper. Printing press and beyond. The power of ideas witnessed by succeeding centuries. Fascination with language preserved the words of earlier people and weakened due to internecine warfare and conflicts. Using printing press, people on different sides of the world could share their thoughts and ideas with each other, forming communities of thinkers across space and time. These technological inventions allowed words and scientific ideas to establish a view of nature anchored in scholarly works and studies. New discoveries about the phenomenon of electricity were eagerly absorbed by the fellow scientists who then utilized the science to create other technological products. In age of information, the transmission of ideas has undergone changes. So nowadays, the product of printing press, like newspapers and even dictionaries, were set aside by most of the people in the world due to the enchantment of technologies like Android phones. Using Android phones, we can already acquire knowledge and information by simply clicking the apps that can help us find what we want to read or know. According to Heidegger, technology is revealing, discovering, and uncover. Technology, just printing press, was very important during old days for getting information, of transmitting information throughout the country or the world. And due to the discoveries of some genius individuals, this technology was improved and enhanced for the convenience of all people.
Good morning everyone, I am Joel Andres Witt from Group 2. So now let's proceed to my topic, which is the technological world. Technological world. The ability to think and conceptually comprehend nature and the principles it follows eventually leads to science. Even in ancient times, Western thinkers harnessed forces of nature after understanding them better. Lost in antiquity is the first sailing vessels that worked through the power of the wind. Similarly, it was never recorded when the early people realized that fire has its own power and energy. Not all early inventions are lost in time. However, Hero of Alexandria, for instance, would invent a primitive steam engine in the 1st century. Here in technological world, the most common definition of the information society emphasizes spectacular technological innovation. The key idea is the breakthrough in information processing, storage, and transmission have led to the application of the information technologies. And there are problems in the technology. It's like something is rather in the state of technology. A large share of these experts say among the leading concerns about today's technology platforms are ways in which they are exploited by bad actors who spread misinformation and the privacy issues arising out of the business and model behind the systems. A good way to understand the difference between the Greeks and the present is to take a look at Heidegger's own examples. For instance, a power plant built into the river Rhine. According to Heidegger, such a power plant forces the Rhine to show itself as a supplier of energy. This is not just a way to feed an artifact into the river, but it forces the river to be there as giving us the energy to do something with it. It clearly embodies this will to power that we now have in our time. This is totally different for a windmill. For instance, it's always dependent on the question whether there's wind or not for its functioning. So the windmill does not force the wind to show itself as a supplier of energy, but it rather feeds itself into nature. That's the difference between older technologies and the modern technology. So technology, according to Heidegger, is not an instrument. It seems instrumental, but the fact that we see things as pure instruments actually show that we should see technology more as a way of understanding the world, a way of exerting power over nature. Technology is revealing the world in a specific way, revealing the world as a raw material. Aristotle, he said that technology is an arrangement of techniques to make possible and serve the attainment of human ends. It means that technology to us has huge impact to human for attaining the human ends itself.
Good morning, classmates. Good morning, teacher. I'm Richie Villacruz Silicami, and my topic is all about the WWW, or the World Wide Web. So, what is the World Wide Web?
World Wide Web, or also called WWW or W3 in a hypertext-based information system. Any word in a hypertext document can be specified as a pointer to a different hypertext document where more information pertaining to that word can be found. The reader can open the second document by selecting the word, using different methods depending on the interface. In a mouse-based system, a user would probably place the mouse over the word and click the mouse button. Only the part of the linked document which contains relevant information will be displayed. Who invented WWW or the World Wide Web? Tim Berners-Lee. Tim Berners-Lee is a British scientist who invented the World Wide Web. In 1989, while working at CERN, or in the European Organization for Nuclear Research, the web was originally conceived and developed to meet the demand for automated information sharing between scientists in universities and institutes around the world. The first website at CERN and in the world was dedicated to the World Wide Web project itself and was hosted on Berners-Lee's NeXT computer. In 2013, CERN launched a project to restore this first ever website, which is info.cern.hs. On April 30, 1993, CERN put the World Wide Web software in the public domain. Later, CERN made a release available with an open license, a more sure way to maximize its dissemination. These actions allowed the web to flourish. So, why the World Wide Web so important? The World Wide Web opened up the internet to everyone, not just scientists. It connected the world in a way that was not possible before and made it much easier for people to get information, share, and communicate. And also, the World Wide Web made it much easier for people to share information. With the ease of sharing information at present, its reliability becomes compromised. In relation to the idea of Heidegger, we must question the information society, specifically the World Wide Web, or the WWW, because anyone with a connection to other people can produce contents which are showing half-truths or even lies, giving rise to disinformation. This action is what we call the fake news.